Welcome back from that short break. And of course, on Saturday evening, we had big games. Crystal Palace took on Manchester United at the Old Trafford. That game ending 0-0. Lukaku still enduring a nightmare run.
Yeah, look, enduring a nightmare run and not able, Tony, to fashion out any chances there. I thought Man United, Tony, is becoming awful. At least they've been dropping points with goals. Now United has stopped scoring, and these are worrying times for any Man United fan.
Isn't it a big problem? They had 66% possession in this particular game, but there were no clear-cut chances all 90 minutes. So it will be a very big worry for Mr. Mourinho there. He has a good game coming up in the Champions League, of course, that he'll be looking at the rest of his players. But he didn't start with Rashford in this particular game. He didn't start with Alexis Sanchez, who I believe two players that can cause some good havoc going forward. It's very interesting for Manchester United at Old Trafford to be drawing 0-0.
Yeah, Tony, very worrying. If you cannot fashion out clear-cut chances, then there's a problem. And I still think Sanchez, Tony, should be playing up front ahead of Lukaku, and then try out Rashford as the right winger. Man United lack a number 7. It has been happening for the last 2 years or so, and until they sort that problem, I think they'll be frustrated by other teams.
Damian coach into this side.
It was a surprise pick for me. I don't know what happened to Luke Shaw, Tony. I thought he was training along the week. Antonio Valencia, Tony, is on the bench. I don't know why he cannot start ahead of Damian. There's a lot happening in the United back row.
Very interesting there, of course, Manchester United getting that 1 point that helped them get into 7th place because of the results around them now on 21 points. And of course, Crystal Palace still 16th on 9 points. They are very interesting. But the two table toppers, Liverpool beat Watford at the Vicarage Road 3-0 in a very convincing result, but very interesting formation with Mohamed Salah up front.
Yeah, Tony, very interesting. I really don't know how Klopp is thinking to put Salah at number 9. I don't think he deserves to play in that position. He is a right winger who just slots into the open space vacated by Firmino.
I feel he's wasting him.
He's wasting him there. I know he's trying to accommodate Shaqiri. Yes, Shaqiri has been brilliant in the last couple of games, but still, you have to go with the proven formation. You're chasing Man City, Tony, we're talking about.
Very interesting there, of course, Liverpool getting those 3 goals through Mohamed Salah and a brilliant Alexander Trent-Arnold free kick there, and of course, Firmino wrapping things up with those 3 goals. Very interesting. Liverpool keeping up their chase on Manchester City in 33 points currently and 2nd place. But Manchester City, you don't chase this guy. They beat West Ham 4-0 at the London Stadium. Very interesting. They were all in scintillating form on that day. Yeah,
Tony, when you play Leroy Sané and Sterling, the defenders are up for pace, and if you're having,
especially when you have Zabaleta
on your side, then it's worrying. I thought they were brilliant on the first half, getting the 3 goals. They just put the foot off the gas and got just 1 in the second half. But this City side, home or away, they just play the same way, and that is what Guardiola, Tony, brings to your team.
They scored 100 goals last season, team. Do you give them a pick for going beyond that this season?
It is 13 games, Tony, into the season. That is about 35%, or you could say a third of the games. They have scored 40. If you go at that pace, they are targeting 120. That's wild.
Very interesting. That will be very wild in the EPL for a team to score 120 goals. So we'll be keeping our eye out on that. Of course, that's 4 goals without Aguero on the score sheet. That tells you a lot about this Manchester City side going forward. Of course, they kept their match to the top of the blog with 35 points now from those 13 games that have already been played. And of course, West Ham find themselves in 13th place with only 12 points. They had surged back in 2 things, but now things look like they're turning a little bit there. Their key men not turning up in that particular game there. And of course, on Sunday we had the brilliant game, Bournemouth taking on Arsenal, a game that we know is full of goals, and we got them, Arsenal winning 2-1.
Yeah, Arsenal winning 2-1. I don't think it tells the full story, because if you look at the possession, Bournemouth had about 56 of the possession, Arsenal 44. But still, Arsenal took the chances when they were having a go on Bournemouth, and I thought that is the difference between a top side and a less side, Tony. Bournemouth should have had some chances there. I thought they should have equalized with a chance falling on Stanislas, but they couldn't fashion out anything. Of course, Aubameyang, brilliant as always. I was just surprised by the own goal that Lemar scored. Who scores that?
I think the last time I saw such a thunderous strike was from Lauren Meyer at Arsenal, who turned and shot at his goalkeeper. But of course, he was trying to keep the ball out.
Yep.
It looked like a very brilliant finisher's number 9 finish.
Yep.
So it was very, very interesting there. Bournemouth conceding that own goal there. Of course, they got the equalizer through Josh King, who has been playing very
brilliant goal.
Well. We saw a lot of chances falling to Bournemouth there in that particular game, but of course they were unable to hang on there. Now that result taking them just below Manchester United on 20 points in 8th place, and Arsenal of course keep their match towards the top 4 positions in 5th with 27 points, just one behind Chelsea. So it's very, very interesting at the top there. Very, very big results there. And of course, elsewhere we had some very, very surprising weekend results. We know things are very, very tough in the La Liga. Real Madrid with their new manager, Santiago Solari, who before the international break had won 4 games in a row, got beaten by Eibar 3-0.
Yeah, Tony, and surprisingly they were playing their first 11, Real Madrid. So losing 3-0 to Eibar makes you what their first loss against Eibar, by the way.
Team 3-0 doesn't tell the story. Eibar could have had more in this particular
5-0 they should have had.
Very interesting there. So it will be a very, very interesting start to the second phase of Santiago Solari's start at Madrid there. Of course, big result, and of course Atletico holding Barcelona at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium. Or was it Barcelona that held Atletico?
I think Barcelona held Atletico.
Very interesting game there. We had a lot of activity in that particular game. Diego Costa, as usual, causing a lot of havoc in that particular game. That game ending 1-1. And of course, Sevilla have now taken the honors on themselves and now are topping the La Liga table. They are very interesting. And in Germany, we have an interesting tale, of course, building up. Bayern Munich drawing with Fortuna Düsseldorf 3-3. Very interesting. They are now again 3 games without a win for Niko Kovac.
Yeah, Tony, he's a lucky man to be keeping his job. I thought by now he should be out of that job. Bayern totally.
It was a surprise pick.
It was a surprise pick, and I think the hierarchy is trying to be patient, but his results have not been the standard of Bayern now.
Very interesting there, and of course elsewhere in France, Monaco getting their first win under Thierry Henry. So it was very, very interesting. They beat Caen away from home 1-0 in that particular fixture. So we keep our eye on what the hierarchy thinks of Thierry Henry. Of course, they've come out and said that is not a short-term replacement there for Leonardo Jardim. They want him in for the long run. So let's hope that this is probably a beginning of things to come.
Yeah, this is a beginning of good things, hopefully, Tony.
Very interesting there. We brought you the rest of the results from that weekend on our Facebook, Twitter accounts. Of course, don't forget to follow, like, share all our posts, comment, send to us all your thoughts about the weekend's action. And of course, we are on YouTube as well, the Tony and Tim Show. Click subscribe for you not to miss any of our videos. For now, we have nothing left to say. Goodbye and enjoy the evening. We have one more game coming up tonight. Don't miss that. Burnley take on Newcastle.
Goodbye.